All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Skill Up Show. It's Monday afternoon and it's 1 p.m. How are you doing this amazing day? Okay, who is in the house? Who is with me? Let me see you. If you are here, welcome. Today we have a very interesting topic, and I think every parent who has a preteen, every parent who has a teenager, even. All right. So usually we'll talk about preteens more. All right. But if you have a teenager, you may need to jump in here. All right. Because the topic today is going to involve you and your child. If you have a child that, is already countering everything that you think and everything that you say, especially when it has to do with them improving themselves, then you need to be here today. Do you have a friend who fits into all of this that we're talking about right now, a sister or brother? Then you need to invite them immediately. Today we're looking at, it's actually an SOS call. It says, help, how can I get my child interested in self-development? How can I get my child interested in self-development? Now, this is you, the parent of a preteen. Your child is 10. Your child is 9, your child is 10, your child is 12, and the child is not interested in anything besides play and fun and all of that. Yes, okay, school, they don't have a choice. School is a given, and so they show up and they do school, okay, and the child is even doing well in school. But then again, the child is not interested in many other things. You can't get the child to do anything that will improve them. It has to be you chasing the child all the time. You have to be the one to say, oh, you need to join this program, or you need to go for this conference, or you need to go for this. And it is like every time you are dragging the child. So we are looking at how we can get our children to the point where they become interested in their own development. My name is Mariba Chima. I am the founder of the Parenting Through Mentorship Academy and PTM Resources, and the proud matron of the Mastermind Circle, a pair mentorship and accountability group where we work with young children and preteens to help them consolidate their journey. We work with this group of children so that we can help them build executive functioning skills. We can help them become aware of the fact that they are the most important variables, or they're the most important people in their own life. So the moment your child understands that, something, this is about me first, okay? Everything, my choices, my outcomes, everything, I am going to be the first beneficiary of all of it. The moment you can get your child to that space where your child begins to understand these things as early as possible, then you are ready to help this kind of child begin to understand the need for personal development, personal improvement, and all of that. Welcome again to the Skill Up Show. Hey, Jennifer, is that you? How are you doing? All right, so let's move. If you are here, let me know that you are. Don't just stay in the background. Say hello. We like to say hello. So if you are watching us on YouTube, are you catching the replay? Are you joining us live right now? Okay, it's a good opportunity to click on that button and follow or join, subscribe to our YouTube channel, yes, so that you can get all the knowledge and all the wisdom that we share on that channel. We have endless numbers of videos, okay, each of them with lessons and wisdom that you can use to apply in your parenting journey. If you are on Facebook and you have someone who needs to be a part of this, why don't you go ahead and tag them right now so that they can join us on this show right now. Dear parents, the moment you become intentional, okay, you become intentional about your personal growth, right? And you can begin to motivate yourself to do something about you growing, something about yourself growing, and you continuously work towards becoming a better version of yourself, or the best version of yourself. When you get to this point, I promise you, there must be a transformation in your life, not just in one area, but in many areas of your lives, of your life, sorry. And this is what we are talking about today. The moment we can get our children to become intentional about their growth, intentional about what they know, understand that there is so much more to know, understand that there are grounds to be broken, understand that it is for their good, and understand that it will make their lives easier and help them easily navigate the world. The moment we get them to the consciousness of this and they begin to believe it, what you will see as a parent in the life of your child is that you begin to see a transformation. Yes, you will see a transformation that would actually not just be in one area of their lives. Children like this will begin to improve academically. They will improve in the skills or whatever talents that they have. They will improve in their spirituality. They would increase in how they perceive family. Their values become more, the values become improved basically, and you will see the way this child carries themselves. Now the question is, as parents, how early are we bringing our children to this realization? How early do you bring your child to that space where the child begins to understand this thing? Because most of the challenges that we have is timing. Timing is your biggest challenge. Timing is our biggest challenge as parents. That's why every time I meet toddler parents, I am so excited. When I meet a toddler parent that is willing to learn, that is already searching for knowledge, I am excited. Because what it means is you can key into the principle of time, and it makes a lot beautiful, just because you can harness that beauty of time, or the privilege of time, in your parenting. All right, the scripture says that let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. That's in Proverbs 1 verse 15. It says, let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance. So first of all, there is the need for discernment, isn't it? There is the need for you as a parent to be able to discern. There is a need for you as a parent to bring your child, or to teach your children as early as possible, to believe and to bring themselves to the place where they can begin to discern. Okay, but how do you get your child to start understanding discernment and all of that? It is through the knowledge that you're passing down to this child. It is through the wisdom that you're passing down to this child. So when your children understand the place of the Spirit, they understand the place of God in their life, then discernment becomes, something that they can relate to, first of all. And then you can come from there and say, you need to get more knowledge. Now, it's very easy to get our children to the point where they understand that they need to get knowledge in school. Can we see that? It's easy for you to make your child understand that he needs to go to school. So even for the worst, the child who hates school completely, the child who does not enjoy school at all, if you go back and you look at it, if you have a child, even if your child is 3 years old or 4 years old, and they come back and they say to you they don't like school, go and look at it. You will find out that it is an element that is in school, something in school that could be an individual, just a person, could be a child, another child in the school that is bullying the child, could be the child's teacher at that time. If you're able to nip that in the bud and you're able to take that away, you realize that most times children want to be in school. The child gets to school, he has good friends, he has friends, and he doesn't have to struggle to have friends or to make friends. Okay, I know for some of us that we take our children to new environments, totally new environment, culture shock and all of that. The children tend to struggle sometimes to settle down in those kind of environments, especially if the people in the environment are hostile. Then we begin to deal with the child saying, I don't like school. But in a situation where the child goes to a school where, he meets people who are accommodating, he meets a teacher who's kind and loving, it's very difficult for you to see a child who says, I don't want to go to school, or I don't like to go to school. Why is that so? Because we take children to school as early as possible. We take them to school when they are just little children. So basically, you introduce them to the idea of school being important as early as possible. So you see, it's difficult for you to have them fight back, especially when it comes to school, because they understand school. Okay, for some people, you can actually be in that space where your children do not even understand. But I promise you, if you're a parent that from day one, the children understand the why, okay, why they have to go to school and all of that, then you will find out that your children do not have a problem with school. For me, in my home, when I say to my children that the consequence for doing a thing is not going to school, you will see them crying and wailing. My children love to go to school. And sometimes they get consequences like that. Oh, mean you're not ready for school. You're consistently late over and over again. I just said to you, okay, simply means that you don't want to go to school. You don't like it in school. But that's the thing. Learning does not only have to happen in school. Don't go and do that like me. I can do that because if we're not learning in school, we're learning at home. I don't have a problem. The space has got nothing to do with learning for us. So if you're not learning in school, it's all right. It's all right. Just drag your chair, drop the book. What's the timetable? We will move. We will learn at home, and that's because I am a partially homeschooling parent. Okay, and so we can go in and out of school, and we will be fine because I have personally improved to be able to do this. So this is the place of personal development. I've personally improved. I have taken trainings. It's not just, oh, because I say I can't. No, I've taken training. I've equipped myself, right? And then, of course, we have brought our children to the space where they understand that learning transcends space. So whether they are in school or they are home, anywhere, our children know that learning is possible. So this is the mindset. And so I can use school as a consequence for not doing something. I say, you know something? You are late, you are not ready, you are consistent, you're not going to school. They're wailing. Why is this? As I said, because we have introduced the children to the concept of school. So if we can do the same thing, introduce them to the concept of personal development, then we might be the ones, it might just be that, this is how we can get them to that space, basically. All right, so I just said, if you have brought your child already understands. Let's start from, the one that we already have. The child already understands the concept of school and all of that. You can actually say to the child, do you know that the word of God says that to your learning, all right, it says you should add to whatever it is that you are learning. So it's not enough that you have learned one thing on Monday. There is room for you to keep learning and learning and learning. Do you know? Say these things to your child. Do you know that the day we stop learning is the day we start dying? And do you know that learning transcends or goes beyond what you do in the classroom? Do you know that there are other dimensions of learning beyond what you do in the classroom? Do you know you need to learn about money? Do you know you need to learn about God? Do you know you need to learn about yourself? Do you know you need to understand yourself? What are you saying to your parents, your children, dear parents? Okay? What you're saying to your children, what your children are hearing you say, what is in their ears constantly will go a long way, in determining whether your children understand the place of personal development. All right, let's look at some important reason, okay? Well, let's look at some of the importance of personal development. Why does my child need to have personal development? Why am I talking about personal development for my 6-year-old, for my 8-year-old, for my preteens, right? Or for my teenagers? Number one, when you get yourself to that space, as I said, when I was trying to define it, I said, when you get yourself to the point where you are intentional about developing yourself to the point that, all right, when you're intentional about developing yourself to the point that you are constantly growing, right? You're constantly growing. It begins to transform every aspect of your life. Now, when you apply personal development in your parenting and you make your children understand this, what happens is it helps them step out of their comfort zone. Yes, that's what personal development does. It tells you that there is always room for more. It tells you that there's room for you to be stretched. It tells you that there is so much more that needs to be done, on so much more that can be, that can be learned. It points your child to the capacity that they have. So your children understand the place of capacity. You say things to your children like, do you know someone as great as Albert Einstein only used about 5% of his brain? To tell you the capacity of our brains. That figure may not be concise, but I know it's some very small amount compared to the capacity of his brain, and that is a genius. So this is to say that there is so much more that we can do because the brain has the capacity to stretch. We've not even scratched the surface when it comes to how much we can do. If your child is constantly hearing this, hey sweetie, you came tops in your class. Do you know that there is so much more that you can conquer? Like you can actually come tops in like the entire grade level. Do you know that you can actually go into, you can actually do things that are competitive and you can come tops even in the States? Basically, just let your children know that there are more grounds. There are more grounds. There are more grounds that they can keep breaking. This is what personal development does. It tells you how much more you can do. So when we can bring our children to that place, it helps our children get off their comfort zone. Yes, you have won. Yes, you have done well. Yeah, we celebrate. We celebrate for 10 minutes. We have fun. We hug you. We celebrate your action, your efforts, and all of that. Then we move on to the next. I remember when my niece came to stay with us, she came to stay with us, and at some point I realized how she would just do one thing. I had gotten her to start, improving herself, because she came in here and all that was happening is TV after TV, is sleep. She would sleep for 3 hours sometimes in the afternoon. And I'm like, what's going on here? She was 16, 17 at the time. I'm like, what's going on here? What is with all this sleep? So it was obvious that, when she didn't have anything else to do, she slept. I'm like, why are you sleeping like this? I'm not understanding. Is there nothing else you can do? All right. So I started pointing her to reading books. I showed her the part of the shelf that she could actually get age appropriate or books that she can, understand and all of that. And then I went on to get someone for her because I realized she was into the arts. Arts was easy for her. I could tell, I could see, and all of that. So I got her into a fashion, my tailor. I just reached out to her if she could get my niece come in, because I knew that it was an area that she would. In fact, she had done something small. You know how you're staying at home waiting for admission, and you're started doing something. So I knew she could improve on that. So I got her in there, and I realized she sings, right? Yes, the voice is not perfect and all of that. But I told her how she can, start a YouTube channel, just have fun being there and expressing one of your expressions. So, like, why are you sitting down? Why are you sitting down doing nothing? Right? So sometimes these children don't know these things, okay? And so they are comfortable in their comfort zone. When she started, she would just do on YouTube and then she would go out. And I'm like, what's going on here? Can you keep moving? And I told her one time, you stay here and you see our children do well in school and they do well in the competitions and stuff that they get into. Sorry, Auntie, how long do you see us bask in that euphoria? How long do you see us stay there and keep celebrating it? And she's like, yeah, usually afterwards, there's a celebration, and then everybody moves. If he does anyhow the evening afterwards, he will still get reprimanded. He will still get me. Any of us point to the fact that what you're doing is not acceptable. So the fact that you just came home with a trophy in the morning or in the afternoon does not mean that you can come and be doing anyhow in the evening. Same thing goes to our daughter and everybody, right? So you have achieved this. Awesome. On to the next. So when you bring personal development into your parenting, your children get off their comfort zone. Number two, it instills an attitude of continuous learning in them. Yes, it instills that attitude. So your children know that it's not enough that you know biology or you know chemistry. Okay, they understand that there are other grounds and there are other aspects of your life that need to keep improving. I was saying this to the children at the Mastermind Circle, our peer mentorship and accountability group yesterday. I told them, I said, okay, now it's about exam season for a lot of you. I wanted to know, so what does exam mean to you? What does it mean to you? Does it mean, oh, now you get to get up, jump off your bed, you can make your bed? Oh, it's exam. We know these things. This is what happens in our home. Oh, just leave them. Oh, it's exam period. I beg, I beg, I beg. They won't be doing anything in the house. Why? Why? Are they not eating food because it's exam period? Are they not, have they stopped eating food? It's exam period. Have they stopped living? Why is exam such an emergency all of a sudden that we can't live our normal lives because we're writing exams? So you see, the problem is we not teach just children to just go through life like, okay, just have fun. And then when it's a week or 2 weeks to exams, then we begin to bombard them up and down the place. Some of us will even get their lesson teachers to come in every day of the week because your child is writing exams. Meanwhile, do you even know what exam is? Exam is, this is the school or the teacher or the curriculum or the program trying to access all that your child has been able to learn. We want to know whether your child has moved from point A to point B as a learner. That is not the time that you bring in one extra, bring in lesson teacher to come and practically sleep in your house so that your child can be badged and bombarded left to back and back. In that period, what do you think is happening? In that period, all your child is doing is cramming so that they can pass that exam. So the feedback that this program, the learning program or the school program, okay, or that curriculum, the feedback that that curriculum is supposed to get is not authentic, right? It doesn't get the feedback that it needs to get, because it's very possible that this person didn't learn all the while, didn't understand this all the while, or the level of learning that they were expecting did not the learning outcome did not happen. But hey, they can get this feedback so that they can go back to the drawing board, or they can get this feedback so that they know how to support your child better. Because in the last days, you have brought Mr. Emeka to come to lesson every day. So Mr. Emeka is pushing and pushing, and the child is cramming and cramming and cramming and cramming. So at the end of the day, the child just goes there, pours everything, regurgitates, pours everything and all that. 1 week later, ask him those questions. Ask him the same question 1 week later, he can't solve them anymore. Because there is the place of consistency, there's the place of practice. But when that practice is a short-term thing, back to back, the retention is going to be a short-term thing also. So that's why we say the kids should study every day. In the mastermind, we point the children, we ask them, how long do you want to study for? Because there's a place of personal motivation. I use this every time, okay? An action or an activity plus a sense of satisfaction is how you get motivated. It applies to your child also. So when your child feels a sense of satisfaction from what he is doing, and that sense of satisfaction can also come from the fact that the child feels that I am the one that made this decision, okay? I was respected in this decision. All right, so the child feels like I played a part, I was respected. Don't worry, the child doesn't sit down and analyze these things like this, but this is how the brain works. This is how the brain works. That's what happens when a child is allowed to be a part of a decision. See, and parents, anytime you want to understand what is going on with your child and how you want to understand what's going on with your child and how easy it is, or you just want to understand what's going on in the mind of your child, quickly switch yourself, right? Switch the child and put yourself in a position where you have people above you. And the office situation, okay, let's assume that you are an employee. The office situation is such a perfect one. This is how I borrow myself sense every time I feel like I'm beginning to bully my children. This is how I go back to the drawing board every time. Because I've worked in high pressure environments. I've worked in the banking industry. I've worked in the bank, okay? And then I've worked in development where I had to work, you know, in programming, and you're there having to put a program together. There's pressure. You have to do submission. You have to do all of that. So I understand that pressure, and your superiors are on your neck back to back, you know, and then you're trying to meet deadlines and all of that. And because I've worked in the education sector, right? Where, of course, as a teacher, there's no time that you close work, because even in the bathroom, you're still thinking of ideas, right? There's a time you need to clock in the morning. The children are gone. You need to use the short time that you have left to mark scripts, to mark this. And then, of course, I went to I worked in like an American curriculum school. So it's not like, okay, a regular school that you just go do as you like, go and be eating akara in class. No, a place where the standards of policy were in place and you couldn't hold a child beyond this place. You couldn't yell at a child. You couldn't snap. I mean, you couldn't beat a child. You couldn't do that. You leave. So a place where the pressure or the expectations were high, that kind of thing. So because I've been there and done that, I'm able to put myself in that position and, watch back and see how my child is feeling per time. So imagine yourself, right, as that employee with that employer that is never asking to see if the time for the meeting is okay for you. So they just go ahead and they fix a meeting for 6 a.m. Meanwhile, you have to commute for about 40 minutes to get to work. Because the boss lives 2 minutes away from the office, he fixes a 7:45. I mean, I've forgotten the time I said. Probably fixed a ridiculous time, and he's saying to you, everybody needs to be here because we need to get this done before the children, whatever it is, for whatever reason, right? And then sometimes they fix meetings, right? Yes, as a teacher, I used to go through all of that. How sometimes they put me on duty to stay with the children that their parents have not come to pick early. So I am there and I have to be with children till their parents come in. And some parents are coming in at 5 p.m. And this is me. I have my own child in another school. I have my own child in another school that go off school since 2:30 or 3 p.m. And the school is not going to allow me drive off, pick my child and go back home. Even if I did, where will I go and keep him? Who will I keep him with? But at the time, nobody's ready to listen to you. So sometimes this is the condition that we place our children. This is the situation, same situation that we place our children. Now, as adults, we are able to make arrangements. I can turn and I can say to my husband, sweetie, this is the situation on this day I'm on duty. So you may have to do afternoon school run because I have to be on duty. We have people that we can turn to. Or you can say to your friend, oh, can you pick him and go to your home? Because that's what I used to do in those, during those situations. It means my friend will have to pick our son and then take our son to his house. To her house. And when I'm done, I drive straight to her home and then pick him from there. This is me able to make all of these arrangements. But a lot of times our children do not have these options. We throw things at them. We don't care about whether it works. We don't care about whether it's okay. We throw these things at them and they do not have options. I just wanted you to do that. I just want to put in that so that you see sometimes the situation where the children are. And that is why you need to forget all those things they tell you. I beg and leave children. Our parents, they ask us, parents, you are a 21st century parent. I'm not saying you're better than your parents, but you are raising a different generation and you're raising them in a different time. The parents' template may not work here. So yes, allow your children some power, put them in the situation where you can ask these questions and you allow them make decisions. Give them 2 options. Keep the options in a way that whichever one they choose will favor you. That's it now. So that way you are giving them power and yet they don't even know that it's already been strategically positioned for them to go here or go here. Yet the child makes the decision and the child feels powerful and the child feels more committed to that decision because the child has made that decision. You fight too much with these children when there are ways that you can get around these things. So their parents, be strategic, and that's why you are in this session today, because I want to show you how you can use strategic ways to get your children to be interested in the things that they need, not the things that they want, the things that they need. All right, so you can get them to that place. So get your children to that place. Yeah, right. Yes. So I said comfort. So it helps them to instill. I might move to number 2. Okay, number 2, instills an attitude of continuous learning. Say yes, I said continuous learning. So your child wants to keep learning. Your child wants to keep learning because of personal development. It keeps telling him you can do more. It keeps telling him there is more to conquer. It keeps telling him, oh, you've not even reached, you've not even scratched the surface. Keep moving, keep moving. And it keeps telling him, you know something, if you make the effort, you will break ground. And the truth about it, these things are principle. If they don't make the effort, indeed, they will break grounds. You can't take that one away from them. You can't. I said at the beginning of this session that the biggest problem or challenge that a lot of us have is time. It's time. Even for you that you are there, you are trying, this is not working. You are trying, that is not working. So as I'm saying now, you'll be like, oh, Nasu, is it everybody that tries that breaks through? I'm telling you, a lot of us, including me, a lot of the things that we do that we're not breaking the grounds right now, it's because we arrived late, my brother, my sister. It is. We didn't get the memo early. We didn't get the memo early. We did not crack the code early. So it has become a bit more difficult to crack those codes. Think about it. You started a business 20 years ago. You started a business 10 years ago, as opposed to you trying to start a business today in this Nigeria of today, in this Tinubu's Nigeria. Is it the same thing? So you may want to say, oh, so you may want to say, yeah, it doesn't work like that. But I promise you, sometimes it is the time. Okay, it is the time that is the issue. So don't do that with your children. Don't make the same mistakes with your children. Key in, lock it down right now, and let's get the things that they need to know, the things that they need to understand, the principles that they need to start, harnessing on their journey. Let's get them in as early as possible. It improves their ability to make decisions. The moment you put your child in this space, personal development, you're developing the child, you're having conversation, the child is, using tools, the child is exposed to tools that will help the child. See, the child is gathering knowledge and the child is gathering wisdom. The child cannot be the same as his contemporaries. Your child that is gathering knowledge and gathering wisdom is not the same as his friends. He's not. So your child will be in a situation, or your child will be having conversations with his friends, and where your child is supposed to be pressured, your child is not pressured because your child is armed with knowledge and with wisdom. So sometimes all these things you are doing, hide them here, hide them there. You can't do this, you can't do that. A lot of this is because of the level of ignorance that they have. That's what scares you. It's because you have seen them make horrible decisions. You have seen them make poor decisions. You have seen them not empowered for good decisions. So it is what you know about them that actually keeps you from allowing them do certain things, because you know that if this one try it go fall. So there is a confidence that comes from the confidence of your parenting. There's a confidence that comes from how you have parented your child, how you have skilled your child, what principles your child knows, what your child understands, the wisdom that your child has assessed, the kind of personal development that your child has gone through. There is a wisdom, or there's a comfort, okay, that comes with it. And you are not afraid after that. You are not afraid because you are confident as a parent and your child is confident as a child. Yes, you are. And it comes. There was a time I couldn't allow my son be in the kitchen alone. There was a time because I knew that I had not done enough work for him to navigate in the kitchen. So when he's in the kitchen, I'm always hovering around, I'm always coming around and all of that, until I said to myself, what is wrong with you? Calm down, sit down and get this knowledge across. So I do what I call, the 4-week process. So in the first week, I'm there with you, teaching you that skill that I want you to learn. I am there with you every day for the first week. We're doing it. I'm doing it. I'm showing you. That whole week, I don't have you do. You just watch. You just see. You just watch. As I'm doing, I'm explaining. I'm talking about it. We're laughing. I'm talking about it and everything. It's the apprenticeship system. By the second week, I invite you to join me in doing. So we're doing it together. I'm doing, you're mixing, I'm mixing. We're doing together. Collaboration, let the child understand. We're doing together, and then let him build his confidence. He's doing, and I'm there watching him, and we're there together. So that is the point. If he makes a mistake, I can nip it in the bud. I'm like, oh, okay, no, you didn't put that one well. Do it like this. Do it that way. Do it this way. The whole of the second week. By the third week, you step away and then you allow the child do it and you're watching. I am watching, you're doing, I'm saying nothing. I'm not criticizing you. I'm not whatever. I'm allowing you build your confidence. I'm allowing you believe in yourself. I'm allowing you believe in your ability. You have watched me for a whole week. You have been with me. We've done it together. Now you should be confident. And so the child finishes and you're able to give him his flowers. Yeah, what's up? Well done. You appreciate the effort. And then after appreciating the effort, you can now say these chances are to a huge extent. By that third week, they hardly make any mistakes. They hardly do. Then the fourth week, you then go away and let the child confidently do it, knowing that I now believe I can. So what you do is you let the child do it, and then you just give them 20 minutes interval. You just come in there. Hey, I hope you're okay. I'm fine, mommy. And then you go away. You come back after 10 minutes. Hey, I hope you. It's the same thing. It applies in everything. Even when you want to get your young children to become independent. This is what I do even when I'm trying to move the children from me assisting them with their schoolwork to them doing it. That's what I did with my daughter by the time she was 4. We started. I would be there. We'll do it a bit. Then I'll step away. I'll tell you, mommy's coming. I need to do something in the kitchen. Just do the whole of number 2. Okay, do number 2 and number 3. I'm coming. You know, so by the time I come in and she's like, oh, mommy, number 3, I don't understand this. Then I come in and I feel her in. Then I disappear. Gradually, when you leave, she doesn't say anything. She does that. The confidence is building. Have you seen that sometimes they call you not because they don't know it? They call you because they don't believe in themselves. They call you because they need someone to be there, right, to clap for them. They need someone to be there to make them feel like they are doing well. So this is what you take away from your child when you are constantly having lesson teachers with them. What the lesson teacher does is it never allows your child move from that space where the child is confident is in their own ability. It never allows them move away from there. So even for the days that the lesson teacher doesn't come, the child still does it, you know, with that mind of, okay, even if I don't do it well, Mr. Emeka will help me tomorrow. Mr. Emeka will show me. So sometimes, I mean, as a classroom teacher, we see it. You know, oh my goodness, it's such a funny situation. You know the days that your children's lesson teachers didn't come. You know, I have kids that I can just tell that their lesson teacher is not at school. I mean, it doesn't work on Tuesday or Wednesday. You know how the lesson teachers come 2 times in a week or 3 times in a week. You can tell the day the lesson teacher is not there because the work is totally shabby. No sense of ownership, nothing. So you see, some of them, it's a mindset thing, parents. You know, when we say these things, you just roll your eyes and you make it seem as if it's about, I beg, if I can pay, I can pay. Nobody should come and kill me. It's my money can do. So there are some things that your money, you can think your money is doing for you. Your money is just going to another person's pocket. That outcome or that thing that you are hoping that the money is doing or should do for you, you're actually not achieving it. You just think it is. It's not happening. So what you do, it's a mindset thing. The moment the child gets to that point where the child has told himself, I really can't on my own because I always need someone to assist me. So Mr. Emeka is always going to come. So anyway, it's just 2 times he's not going to come. So the 2 times he's not going to come, I'm just going to weather the storm somehow. The day he comes, he will brush me back, back in and all that. So as a classroom teacher, I can tell. I'm marking and I'm like, hey, come here. Your lesson teacher did not come yesterday, right? And she's like, yes, it doesn't come on Tuesday. We see it. They'll just do anything and drop for you. And they go. Then the day lesson teacher comes, you will see sequence, everything, all the signs, everything in place. In my head, I just laugh. Like, we parents listen. But there's a way there's no lesson teacher. He does it like this on Monday, and you're like, okay, no accepting it. Sit down. Let's look at it again. Papa. And then Tuesday, it gets better. Wednesday, it gets better. Thursday, it's more improved. Friday, it is sitting down almost well. But you take all of this from the child because the mind, the brain is reliant when it knows that there is assistance. There's nothing you can do about it. All right. So it helps them improve their ability to make decisions. So I can decide, right, because I have been empowered. I know how many scoops I want to put this time in the food. I know how many scoops. The last time I put the salt was too much. It was 2 spoons I put then. Okay, this time, because that one was too much, I'm going to reduce it to 1 spoon today because, you know, so the child is able to do all those permutations. The child is able to, make all those assessments while the child is at it because you have given them the chance to own their process, be in the process, do the process, and then they are able, their working memory, right? Their working memory is able to take them back to, the previous experience, and they're able to connect previous experience to the new experience and improve their decision based on previous experiences. Guys, parents, this is how executive functioning skill is developed. This is what we do with the children in the mastermind circle. help them build, this process, believe in themselves, stay in that process, and then they come back and give us feedback. They come back and give us feedback. And then we work with their parents. Okay, introduce this today. Let's do it this way. Let's do it that way. Okay, let's do this tool today. Tomorrow, let's add the other tool. It's a process. Whatever you're doing with your children is a process. It's a process that will make it work. It's not the outcome. Stop paying attention to your final outcome. It's that outcome that is allowing you no rest. Lesson teacher, this one, that one. Because you want at the end of the term, you want to see, oh, they have all straight A's. So you're pursuing the outcome, not the process that leads to that outcome. All right. So the next one is help you overcome your weakness. When your children are open to personal development, it helps them to overcome their weaknesses. Yes. Because in the place of personal development, you are not just shown what you don't know how to do. You are shown how you can improve yourself. You are given the opportunity to try again. Of course, your child begins to develop begins to develop a winning mindset, isn't it? The child has a winning mindset. So even when they fail, they know that it is an opportunity to try again and they can still win. So if you introduce your children to personal development, you understand why they need to develop themselves, then it allows them not to be ashamed of their weaknesses, but to see an opportunity to improve their weaknesses. Of course, it will improve their mental health. So when a child is not constantly berated, the child is not constantly dragged, you are listening to your child's opinion. The child gets to make decisions here and there. The child is not shamed when those decisions, because as a parent, if you're raising a child who is going through personal development, you will be going through personal development yourself. See, if parenting has not changed you, if you can still boast that the way I was before I got married or before I had children is the way I am still, I'm telling you, parenting has not changed you, because parenting should change you. Like, obviously, people who know you should see you and say, what happened to you? That's what intentional parenting does. It changes you. So there's no way your child is going through this personal development process that you won't be going through it. So you're able to get to the point where you're not shaming every mistake. You're not shaming every failure, because even you understand the place of failure as, an opportunity for them to overcome their weaknesses. So that's what, and then of course, it keeps your child, it inspires motivation in your child. It inspires motivation. Your child is motivated to do more, to try more, and all of that. Okay. I have lots of stories to share with you, but let me share one of my stories, right? So when our son was about 6 years old, and we noticed our son, 5, 6, we noticed he was not interested in presentations, doing school plays, all those things that they do in school. He was not interested. He just wanted to be behind, not do anything, and all of that. And it was worrisome because, hey, we understand the place of public speaking, and social skills, your ability, public speaking, public presentation, and all of that. So we wanted him to, we didn't just want to sit there and say, oh, he doesn't like this. We wanted to at least equip him, right? Because we know that a lot of times when you're not able to do something, it's because you are not skilled for that thing. So we wanted to help him in that area. So, of course, I started working with him. And the moment I had an opportunity to get him someone to coach him, to mentor him, I got him someone. So our son got his first mentor when he was 7 years old. That's when he got his first mentor. Then he started a YouTube channel and started doing that. And then from that, with the YouTube channel, the mentor, and all that we're doing with him, this is how he started improving in that area. Of course, the YouTube channel, he had to stand in front of a camera, make those videos and everything and over. So gradually, he started helping his, public speaking skills, his ability to stand in the presence of people and be audacious and all of that. And today, he can stand before any number of people and it doesn't shake him. I don't even have, that on-stage presence. I can't own the stage like he does. Now, a point came in his life where he wanted less. He didn't want to do the YouTube channel anymore. He didn't want to do the YouTube channel anymore because it was becoming too cumbersome for him. It was stressful for him. He didn't like all the videos because we had moved from just using my BlackBerry phone to do videos to bringing in a videographer. And sometimes he has to video like 3, 4, 5 episodes, like that. He has to change clothes. And on Sunday, when he just wants to chill. So the child, the child that the child was decided, complained. But then again, it's only because I was in that space where I could say to myself, it's not just me thinking this is okay. Remember that's, employer-employee situation that I gave you as example. That's it. It came into play here. I don't know if it came into play early enough, but it did. Our son was somewhere around 11, and I asked him, "All right, you're becoming, you're preteen right now. Okay, teenagehood is upon us. What would you? What are you doing right now that you'd rather not do like that?" We had this conversation, and he said, "Can I just pass with a YouTube channel?" And I'm like, "Okay." But because because service, right? Because service is a core value for us. So I asked him, so what else would you do right now that would impact other people? Because that's how we got to the YouTube channel in the first place. We wanted to do something that he can use to impact one person, 2 people, anybody. And he started teaching his classmates. He would explain science to them and all of that. And so when he told his mentor this, okay, I always gather my classmates, and I teach them science because science is easy for me. I love science. I enjoy science and all of that. And she's like, do you know that you can actually touch more lives beyond your friends in class? And then that's how they came up with the YouTube channel. I didn't come up with the YouTube channel. They came up with the whole YouTube idea, he and his mentor. And because I am a mentor mom 100%, guiding, supporting, leading, if this is where you say we're going, let's go there, provided it will improve you personally. And of course, it'll help you be the best version of yourself. So I was there, I was supportive. It was stressful for me, but I needed to support a child. And so we did. So at the time he didn't want to do it anymore. What did I do? I looked for a visualization coach. See, I know it. Meanwhile, at this point, I was already in the space, doing parenting. I was a teacher fully working with children and then beginning to work with their parents. I understood the role that parents play in the lives of their children. So I was already working with parents even before I started a parenting, academy or anything like that. I was already so hooked on, trying to get parents to know what they need to do with their children. And so when I left my full-time teaching job in a classroom and I came out, all right, and eventually I decided to answer the call that has been within me, to do something with parents just because I want children to have opportunity to be more wholesome. And I know that the school is not enough to bring children to that wholesomeness because the role of the parents in the life of a child cannot be overemphasized. You are their first teacher. You are their cheerleader. You are custodian. You are everything. So I knew that the problem was not like children were not learning in school or that teachers were not doing their best. The problem was the home. And so I needed to work with the home. So when I started working with parents, right? So it was for some of these reasons, that, we wanted to work with parents, right, directly, so that the role that you play in the life of your child. So at that time, he wanted, so I don't kid myself and say, I know everything. I beg, I teach person parenting. I beg, what did our parents? I don't do all of that. I take my money. I pay for knowledge, right? I take my money and I pay for knowledge. Scripture says that to what you know, add more knowledge. Yes. To what you know, add more knowledge. I do that for myself. I do that for my children. And knowledge is not cheap. Even the scripture says you should buy it. So I took him at the time to, for a second, I went for that session, not with the mind of going there and saying, I beg. I went for that session with the mind of being built for the session. So we went and then he had a session with a visualization coach and they talked and blah, blah, blah. She had a session with him. I was outside. She had a session with him. By the time they were done, the mastermind circle was birthed. By the time he was done with his visualization coach, the mastermind circle, the idea for the mastermind circle had been planted. So the mastermind circle that we run today came from personal development. Our son being, at the time he was 12, 11 going on 12, right? Yes, 11 going on 12. This was November. He was turning 12 in December. Yeah. So by that time, the vision had come. And so I had to just fine tune it. How do we go about it and all of that? He just wanted to learn with a group of children where, remember where it started from. It started from service. How can we serve? How can we impact humanity? Even at 6, you can. That's where the conversation started from. At 6, you can. And he said, okay, I will teach science to my friends. And from teaching science to his friend, he got personal development. He got a coach. He got a mentor. And from what he was already doing, the coach or the mentor could build on how well he had developed himself. And she's like, let's reach a huge group of people, talk to more people, impact more lives. Then he started doing YouTube, just so that more children can learn from him. And so sometimes he would get 200 views. He didn't know nothing about the view because it wasn't his concern. But here, those of us who are guiding and, supporting him knew he was able to touch more lives and reach more people. And then at the point, because there's nothing that is static, there's nothing that is final. Your children will grow in their interest, they will grow in their purpose, they will grow in their, in their talents and all of that, so they can go somewhere else, they can move from something they start. There is no limitation. You are the one as a parent who is putting caps on these things and you're limiting them. Let the children grow, let them evolve. So when he said, I didn't want to do YouTube channel anymore, I allowed him to evolve. And he said, I just wanted a group where I can grow with other children. We can learn together. We can talk in the group together. We can build our skills together and all of that. And this is how we started the Mastermind Circle. We got into the Mastermind Circle. We've run the Mastermind Circle for almost 2 years. In January, the Mastermind Circle is going to be 2 years. Now, in the place of personal growth, my mentor, we sat down one day and she looked and she says, are you sure a lot of these things that he's doing is not putting too much pressure on him? And then for once I stopped and I looked at it. And I'm like, personally, I'm not putting any pressure. First of all, how well he's doing in school is no pressure. He just has reached the point because, of course, I do this process that I tell you, how I step back, I allow you gain your independence. I do it for my children. I do it for everybody that has lived with me. I've had someone come to live with me and her first report, she came number 30 something. The next report, she was second in her class. The next year, she was a prefect in that school. I've done that. So it's just me. It's just a gift that I have. I know how to help children tap in and bring the best in them. It's just there. It's just there. So I said, oh, there's no pressure from me, or there's no pressure to come a certain way in school. There's no pressure. He has a juice company where in his school, the entrepreneurship club says, start a business and we'll give you capital. He started. He just came home and wanted to be supported. I support. That's my work. I just supported. By the time I finished with the support, he came back and he said, I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. I want to keep going. 4 years, he kept on going. Or 4 years, he's going. So I looked at it. So she's like, oh, God, the fruits, there's no pressure. And then the mastermind is the same one that said, okay, I want to stop with the videos and I want to do something that I can learn with other children. And then he got in there. So at the end of the day, she said it, I stopped and we looked at it. Maybe not outside pressure, maybe not pressure that we are putting on him. Maybe he could get to the point where he is putting some pressure on his own. Because I was in the place of personal development, I was able to sit down and I came back home. My husband and I were able to look at it and we say, you know something, let's take a lot of these things off him and allow him just free flow. Let him do, let him come naturally, whatever, let him just free flow. And so I came back in the place of personal development and I'm able to say to him, you know something, I know you want to do this, I know you want to do that, I know, but I'm taking a lot of this off you. Just free flow right now. You're in JSS 3, you're in year 9. Free flow and then move anything you're doing to the next level on your own. Free flow like I have nothing to do with it. So today, he still runs his juice business. I don't do accounts with him. I don't put pressure on the accounts. I don't do that. He still runs. We still run the mastermind, but I took him out like, yeah, right now you are as good as any participant and all of that. But he still does the back office job naturally because he loves to do all of this. Set up the YouTube channel, set up this, get the link, create the slides. This is coming from a free place. No pressure. No, have you done it? Have you not done it? Did you? No, 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 no. From a place of prayer. And then each time he's able to do the change and he's able to do the switch and he's able to make the adjustment because he is in a place of personal development and he knows this. And he knows this. And he's speaking about this with his coach and he's speaking about this with his mentor. And so he's moving on that journey. So basically, these are some of the things we're talking about. So it will foster a growth mindset. Okay. So, okay, I just finished talking about it. So quickly, let me look at why your child is not interested in personal development. Number one is because you are over socializing your child. Yes, the average parent today is over socializing. Oh, this kind of, what do you call it? Your children, yes, you have DSTV, you have GoTV, you have all of them. GoTV, Netflix, DSTV, Your child alone has the option of 1,000 channels. Your child alone has the option, maybe that's exaggerated, but at least your child alone has the option of 500 channels. He can just take the remote control. It's GoTV, it's DSTV, it's this one, papa, they're everywhere. They know everything that is happening in the gaming world. They know everything. They know everything that's happening in the Premier League. They know. Everything that's happening in the Champions League. They know. Everything that's happening in the music world. They know. Everything that is happening, they know everything. So your 10-year-old, your 11-year-old is burdened, They know every TikToker and the one that makes sense. They know everybody. You open your mind, you know what they know. They open this one, they know. They know everybody. They know what's happening on TikTok. They know everything that's happening on Snapchat. They know everything on Discord. They know it is too much now, parents, don't you think? So with that alone, all of these things, each of them pushing in a dose of dopamine into your child's system every time. Your child is dopamine loaded. Your child is an addict. So it is the things that will pump more dopamine into the system, the feel-good hormone, the things that will pump more of it into your child's system that your child will turn to. So what happens is when this dopamine is in the system in heavy quantity or in heavy doses, it actually stops the child's brain from developing and it stops them from setting productive actions and all of that. So the children just want to, like people on drugs, they just want to have more fun and more fun and more fun and more fun. So everything that is not fun is boring to them. So that's why you see, even in school, when the school says, oh, they are going to have a bit of personal development, they are going to have career talk, they are upset. I see it. I see it even with the children's, they're upset. They're bringing somebody, they're constantly complaining. If it is not pop culture, if it's not something that is pushing, and then some of us parents, we sit down there and we justify it and we tell ourselves, let the children be children. Who told you that is what it means for children to be children? So we over-socialize our children and there is no room for personal development because they have 1,001 thing that they are pursuing, 1,001 thing that is developing them anyway. So, and but apart from that, apart from all the many channels that they have, they now have the phone. Some of them get gifted iPhone this, iPhone that for birthdays. They get gifted for this, all kinds of gadgets. How? Where is the room for personal development? Who is coming to develop who? The person that is even coming to development, your child is adorned with, from head to toe, from head to toe is worth 200,000. So when the teacher comes, he's already looking at the teacher's shoes, looking at the teacher like someone that doesn't even know what is happening in the world. So who is developing who, please? All right. Now, personal development is uncommon. It's not common. It's uncommon. So it's not what their friends are doing. It's not, it's not what their friends are doing. It's not what other, the people in their circle are doing. So they are not interested because it's not what people around them are doing. It's not work. It's not work. Then who are the role models that you point your children to? Who is your child's model? Who does your child want to be like? The people in their face are these musicians and all of that. So every person your child is looking at is someone that is making so much money already. Oh, Davido, this one is the glitz, the glam, it's what dress, who wore, is what this is what your child is about. So who wants to develop who? All right. So lack of commitment, even from you. For those of you who even enroll them in certain programs and all of that, you enroll them and you move on. So you're not even committed. How would the child be committed? So you're not committed. So it just sends the message to the child again. Oh, it's optional. It's actually optional. It's not that serious. So because it's not that serious, they show up when they want to. They don't show up when they want to. Because it's not that serious. It's actually not that serious. So these are some of the reasons why your child is not. So let's quickly, what's this? Oh, we're 2 minutes. All right, so let me take the next 5 minutes and quickly give you 5 solutions or 5 things that you can do to get your children in that space. Okay, number 1, you want to help them start reading books that would point to personal development. This is why I created 2 of my new books. See, I don't even write books that do. At the end, as your child is reading, the child is not getting developed. My first book, Bedtime Stories for Champions, is about young people who are already doing amazing things in the world. Young people who are already changing the world, are already giving back. Young people who are using their ideas, using what they see their grandma, their moms, their dads doing. They're using that to already improve themselves and then seek more knowledge, and they're already impacting the world, making money, giving back to their communities. That's what Bedtime Stories is about. Stories about the Malalas of this world and all of that. Of course, infused with real life situation and then, a conversation between the child and the parents. Now, my new book, Young and Money Smart, it's not the book that is telling your child, oh, yeah, piggy bank, save here, save there. Yeah, it talks about that. But more is, I came for your child's mind. I came for your child's mind in Young and Money Smart. I came for their mind. I came to take Ronaldo off their mind, at least not the Ronaldo, the glam Ronaldo. The only Ronaldo that will remain in their head is the skilled and the disciplined Ronaldo. That's what I came to do in their head with this book. I came to take pop culture off their head, and I came to put in values into their head. So in that book, it's all about helping your children develop the abundance mindset. When your child knows and he believes that he is not limited by time, he's not limited by space. He's not limited by space. There are no caps, basically. He is as empowered as his ideas, his knowledge, his wisdom, his skills, and how wise he is to apply them. So basically, I've come to say to your child, there is nothing anyone is doing right now that you cannot do. All you need to do is know how to think and know how to apply yourself. See, if you're parents that have children 10 and above and you don't buy this book, I am vexing for you. No, pre-order, Young and Money Smart. Just pre-order that book. Pre-order that book. It would the transformation will be huge. And it's a book. Read it with your child, perhaps. Just enjoy the book with your child. You will push it. You will get a chance to push in perspective, because we have put the perspective before you. And so you're able to push them and push the narrative. As in, it will transform you and transform your child. That's how much work we put inside that book. Yeah. So we also have the Unlock Your Child's Success Beyond the Classroom, or raising children who are successful beyond school. So these 2 books, in fact, there's no book. There are 4 books we have this year. The other one is Playtime Stories for Champions. Playtime Stories for Champions for your 0 to 8-year-olds, where we're using activities to get your children to the point where they are learning. So your children will listen to a bedtime story. They will have fun with the story. And the next thing is they want to create an activity to extend the lesson that we started through that story. Are you kidding me? See, just grab these books. Even your 10 and 12-year-olds and your older kids can actually use this book to connect with their younger ones, because they will set up the activities together, and the activities are actually hands-on. So they get to set up the activities together, and they have to have so much fun. Even you can actually use this book with your children. I am big on family connection. I'm big on family time. I'm big on bonding. So I create these resources because we want families to bond. We want families to connect. We want children to learn and tap and soak all the learning that is in your home environment. No wonder it is said that the biggest lessons are learned on the dinner table. So first of all, the kind of learning in your home is so huge. You just switch it. Most of it is at home. The learning is at home, not in school. Most of it is at home. School has got its place, but most of the learning that your children need to succeed, to excel, and to navigate the world is actually in the home. Stop taking for granted the gold that you have, the gold mine in your home. Stop taking it for granted. All right, you want to do that. So number two, okay, so if you want to order these books, all right, so we have it scrolling on YouTube. We have it scrolling on your screen right now. You can take a snapshot and go ahead and order that book right away, or order these books. So there are 4 of them. Each of them is 3.5. It's still on the pre-order. By Saturday this week, it will be off pre-order, and you have to buy each of them for 4,000. So you can still save 2,000 naira, and then you get a free journal worth 3,500 naira. So off the top of my head, that's already 5,500 naira you are saving if you order this book right away. Apart from that, we have a 21-day reading plan that is worth 5,000 naira. You also get that if you order this book. And then we have affirmations. Yes, we have wealth affirmations that is worth another 5,000 naira. You can also get it in just because you're ordering for this book. So altogether, you have freebies worth almost 20,000 naira just because you're ordering the books today or between now and Saturday. You want to do it today so that you don't forget and you wake up on Saturday and pre-order is gone. After pre-order is gone, you just buy the book. No freebies, nothing else, but you still get to buy the book for 4,000 naira. All right. The truth is, the testimonials, right, that you will get, the reviews you will get from this book, you will buy this book eventually. So why wait for later? Just buy the book right now. Even if you have 16-year-olds, buy, the Young and Money Smart and then Unlock Success. Buy those 2 books, okay, for them. All right. So number 3 is you introduce them to inspirational role models. Please, parents, point your children to role models, people who have, the interest that your children have. Look for people who have gone ahead of them. Look for people who have done amazing things, who have changed the world, who have changed narratives, trajectory, and everything in that area. Point your children to these people. Don't turn everything to preaching time. You sit down, you talk, you scold them because they're doing something. No, get materials, watch videos, watch documentary together about these people, all right, so that you get your children to be interested. See, a way you know that your children do not have a thing for personal development, a way you know is start watching things like documentary, bring books out and all of that. The way your children roll their eyes and are not interested is an indication of the fact that your child does not understand or doesn't embrace personal development yet. And in this 21st century, it is a century of knowledge. It is a time for knowledge. Knowledge is the real gold today. Forget all of these things that you see. Big brother, you see this, you see that one. See, it's a matter of time. Do we even think about these things? Think of these things, and we think short term too much. We think 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Think of how your child would navigate at 40, 50 with the small or the no knowledge that they are gathering because they are running after pop culture and running after easy things today. So the easy things can give you, money that they will just come and you just squander. But think about the time in their life where those easy things that they do are not relevant anymore, or when they are not even strong enough for those easy things that they do. So that's why sometimes we see, these celebrities and all of that. The same celebrities that, everybody looked up to. It was like this, it was like that, it was like this, it was like that. And then all of a sudden, the same celebrity is, all of a sudden they fade away. Or the next thing you start hearing is, they're in this fix, they're in that fix, and everybody is gathering. How short can a career be? If you're not teaching your children, to think beyond 2 years and 5 years and 10 years. Do you understand? That's why you see some of them that are wise are beginning to go into real businesses. It's not just about the glitz and glam, okay? They're beginning to go into real, but if you do not have the knowledge that can carry these real things later, how will you do it? So don't raise a child that will reparent themselves when you can help them do this job. You can parent them right today. Don't give a child a burden that the child would have to carry when their mates are or they're already trotting and they're far. Don't do that. It's my coach that says the war, I mean, parenting is war. Where you stop fighting is where your child is going to continue. So there are some battles you can deal with. Finish them today so that your child doesn't have to fight those same battles again, because it's been done and dusted. All right? Help them explore a variety of hobbies. Yes. Let your children explore a variety of hobbies. What do they like to do? You know, look at what they like to do, key into what they like to do, tap into what they enjoy doing. Give them the opportunity to do these things, create opportunities for them, platforms for them, you know, and help them do this. As they do this, they will figure out what it is that is for them. Send them to platforms, give them opportunity to be on platforms like the Mastermind Circle, where, of course, it's not just you. We are partnering with you to help them continue to improve themselves, develop themselves. And then they get a new cheerleader. Yes, the matron here. Okay, they get a new cheerleader working with you through this journey. So we are corroborating what it is that you are saying to them. We are saying things that you are not saying. And so you can pick from what we are saying and then attack it from that angle. See, by the time we are doing this or working together, we will see this progress that we are looking at. But your children will not warm up to this kind of knowledge if you do not introduce them to the place of personal development. Very key. The fifth one is it will foster growth, a growth mindset. Yes, it will foster a growth mindset where you can emphasize on the importance of growth. All right, you can you can emphasize on the importance of growth, and then they can see challenges as just a stumbling block that they have the capacity to surmount. And so your children are willing to learn, your children are willing to take on those challenges because they know that the challenges are not permanent. They know that they can surmount them. All right, praise the effort that your children make. Praise the effort. Don't be too quick to, don't be too quick to criticize them. Don't be too quick to nitpick every mistake that they are making. Okay, let them know that it's the process that is more important to you. So praise the little effort and don't be too consumed by the need for outcomes. Is that need for outcomes that will make you take your children to this school, and from that school to the next school, and then you bring one lesson teacher, you take them to this teacher, you take them to this lesson, because the only way you evaluate or you review your system or you review your progress is by what another person has written on a piece of paper. That's your problem. The only way you assess that your children are doing anything, they are growing or they are becoming, is the report card. So until report card comes, or whatever report card says, this is what you use to constantly assess who your child is. So that's why you will do anything whatsoever to put them in certain places, because you feel that it is that system that we use a wand and do like this, abracadabra, and your child will become what the system is. What the system will do is the system will create the environment for your child to become. Okay, so focus on the process. Okay, focus on the process and review how your child is becoming, and ensure that that becoming is not just in one area. So whatever you're doing in one area, make sure you're doing it in every area, so that indeed your child will become. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. Thank you. If you're catching the replay, I hope you got value from this session. If you got value from this session, from this session. Please let us know that you did. Okay, let us know your biggest take home from this session. Okay, let us see you in the comments. Let us see your emojis. Okay, if you have learned from this session, if you've gotten anything new from the session that you're going to start applying with your preteens and your teenagers. Okay, if you want to get our new book that you should get, okay, on YouTube, just go ahead and take a screenshot of the information on the screen right now, and you can go ahead and make payments. Okay, from now till Friday, do it today, oh, because after Friday, after Saturday, pre-order is off, and you get to pay 4,000 naira for each of the book and 16,000 for all four of them. If you are on Facebook, immediately after the session, just check in the comments and you will see the link that you can use, or the details that you can use to order for our new books. If you like to have your children in the mastermind circle between 6 and 14, also let us know, okay, by saying the mastermind circle in the comments, or you use our phone number that is always in the group to send us a direct message so that we can let you know, okay, more about the circle. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Bye. Thank you.